Section 1 of The Greater Inclination. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Elizabeth Klett. The Greater Inclination by Edith Wharton. The Muse's Tragedy. Danyers afterwards liked to fancy that he had recognized Mrs. Anerton at once, but that of course was absurd, since he had seen no portrait of her. She affected a strict anonymity, refusing even her photograph to the most privileged, and from Mrs. Memorall, whom he revered and cultivated as her friend, he had extracted but the one impressionist phrase, "Oh, well, she's like one of those old prints where the lines have the value of colour." He was almost certain, at all events, that he had been thinking of Mrs. Anerton as he sat over his breakfast in the empty hotel restaurant, and that looking up on the approach of the lady who seated herself at a table near the window, he had said to himself, "That might be she." Ever since his Harvard days, he was still young enough to think of them as immensely remote, Danyers had dreamed of Mrs. Anerton, the Sylvia of Vincent Rendle's immortal sonnet cycle, the Mrs. A. of the Life and Letters. Her name was enshrined in some of the noblest English verse of the 19th century, and of all past or future centuries, as Danyers, from the standpoint of a mature judgment, still believed. The first reading of certain poems, of the Antinous, the Pia Ptolemy, the sonnets to Sylvia, had been epochs in Danyers' growth, and the verse seemed to gain in mellowness, in amplitude, in meaning, as one brought to its interpretation more experience of life, a finer emotional sense. Where, in his boyhood, he had felt only the perfect, the almost austere beauty of form, the subtle interplay of vowel sounds, the rush and fullness of lyric emotion, he now thrilled to the close-packed significance of each line, the elusiveness of each word. His imagination, lured hither and thither on fresh trails of thought, and perpetually spurred by the sense that, beyond what he had already discovered, more marvellous regions lay waiting to be explored. Danyers had written at college the prize essay on Rendle's poetry. It chanced to be the moment of the great man's death. He had fashioned the fugitive verse of his own storm and stress period on the forms which Rendle had first given to English metre, and when 2 years later the Life and Letters appeared, and the Sylvia of the sonnets took substance as Mrs. A., he had included in his worship of Rendle the woman who had inspired not only such divine verse, but such playful, tender, incomparable prose. Danyers never forgot the day when Mrs. Memorall happened to mention that she knew Mrs. Anerton. He had known Mrs. Memorall for a year or more.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?